Welcome, everybody. My name is Zach Pasquarello. In this video, we're going to talk about 10 proven ways to get bookkeeping clients fast, even if you're just starting. I've been doing my bookkeeping business for the past 5 years, and now I make these YouTube videos because honestly, I just love talking about my bookkeeping business and I love helping you start and grow your own bookkeeping business. So I'm going to be going live for the next hour. I'm going to talk about my notes first, and then I'm going to get to the chat. So if you are watching live, if you have questions, if you have comments, please let me know in the chat. I'm going to stick around as long as I possibly can. As you can already see, if you're joining live, there's already about 20 people watching live, and there's already a ton of questions. So the last couple of days, I have actually ran out of time to be able to answer everybody's questions. So in order to prioritize a few people who really want me to answer your question, there is a super chat option. So if you look in the bottom right-hand corner where you can type in your question in the chat, there's a little button that has a $sign. So you can actually do a super chat. I'm not saying you have to do a super chat to ask questions, but if you really want me to answer your question, the best way to get my attention is to do a super chat. And I will answer all the super chats first, and then I'll go through and answer everybody else's question. And there's also a ton of links in the description of this video, but I don't want to waste any time. Let's just jump right into it. We only have 1 hour, so let's just talk about it. 10 proven ways to get bookkeeping clients fast, even if you're just getting started. I'm going to go through all my notes here, and I'm going to talk about, this is literally what I did. Everything I talk about is how I actually grew my bookkeeping business. So the first year I had 10 clients, the second year 20, then 40, and then I got to 80 bookkeeping clients at the end of my 4th year. Now I'm on my 5th year. I've scaled back a little bit. I'm focusing on Zip Capital. I'm not actively trying to get new bookkeeping clients. Now I have about 70 clients. So let's just go through these 10 proven strategies real quick, and then I will get to everybody's questions, or as much questions as I can. So number one, start with your personal network. Family, friends, coworkers, past employees are your easiest first leads. Now, I get it. Not everybody in your family probably has a business, and it's not necessarily about texting all of your friends. That's not really what I mean. But instead, I want you to leverage your current network, your current social media, and just start posting right away. So seriously, don't call your friends, don't call your family members and say, hey, I just started a bookkeeping business. Need any help? But instead, be much more casual, be much more laid back than that. Don't be in your face, don't be annoying, don't be scammy. Just start telling people, hey, I just started a bookkeeping business. Just bring it up kind of casually in conversation. The number one thing, don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid to talk about it. That's probably, that I know, for at least that was my biggest problem when I was getting started. I didn't want to tell anybody because I was a little bit embarrassed. I was a little bit unsure of myself. That's the worst thing that you can do. So next time you're hanging out with your friends, if they ask you, hey, how's work going? Well, actually, this is kind of silly, or maybe this is kind of new. I'm a little bit embarrassed to talk about this, but I actually just started a bookkeeping business. Oh, really? That's cool. What does that mean? And then boom, just have a natural conversation. Don't be like, hey, Mr. Smith, do you want to be my bookkeeping client? I know we've been friends for 20 years. How about now you hire me to do your bookkeeping? Start with your personal network. Your social media right now, you might have 200 friends, you might have 300 friends. Who cares? Start posting right now. Start talking about it at family get-togethers, at hanging out with your friends. Bring it up casually. Hey, here's another good idea. Anytime somebody says, oh, you meet somebody new, oh, what do you do? Boom, I'm a bookkeeper. I don't care if you just started your bookkeeping business yesterday, or if you're thinking about starting your bookkeeping business in 2 weeks. Start telling people you're a bookkeeper. Start telling people, I have a bookkeeping business. What do you do for a living? I'm a bookkeeper. I have a bookkeeping business. Start with your personal network. Start now. Don't wait. That's what I did. I waited until I was confident. I waited until I actually had clients to start talking about it. It's the other way around. Start talking about it now so you can get clients. Leverage Facebook and LinkedIn groups. So right now, you probably have 300, maybe 400 Facebook friends, maybe a couple hundred LinkedIn connections, and they're all from your current life. They're all your friends and family. They're not business owners. But what you can do is you can leverage Facebook groups. And these groups have 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people in it. And you can specifically leverage local Facebook groups that are relevant to business. You can join these groups. You can find people in these groups, and you can quickly grow your social media following by friend requesting people in these groups. So you might not have a ton of Facebook friends right now, but you can leverage Facebook groups, and people post in these groups all the time, asking for help, asking questions. And so you can actually post in these groups if you want. Keep in mind though, when you're posting in Facebook groups, don't solicit your services. Don't try to get people to hire you by saying, hey, hire me, I'm a bookkeeper, but instead provide value. Give people tips. That's the best way to build trust and to not get kicked out of groups and to establish yourself as a bookkeeping expert. Provide value in these groups. That's the best thing that you can do. And then once you get a few Facebook friends, offer free audits or offer free consultations. Hey, I'm going to be available for the next 2 hours. Here's my website. Here's my phone number. Here's my email address. If anybody has any questions about bookkeeping, hit me up. If you're a business owner and you have questions, I'm kind of speaking as you right now as an example. 5 years ago, if you were just getting started, offer a free consultation. Hey, Friday afternoon, I'll be available for 3 hours. If anybody has any questions, hit me up. Here's what it can do. It can build trust. It can possibly get you a good Google review, and it'll help teach you what people are struggling with. So make mental notes, take notes, figure out what people are asking you, what questions people are asking you, what problems people are having. It's like, okay, this person called me because they were struggling to reconcile their bank accounts or they couldn't fix their undeposited funds. I don't know, whatever QuickBooks issues they're having. And then boom, all of a sudden, you've accomplished literally 3 things at once. You got your name out there and you did some marketing. You established a relationship and trust with that one person who you were talking to. You established some goodwill by helping them for free. And then number 3 is you learned about your ideal client. You learned about the problems that your clients are facing. So offer up free audits or consultations if you have time. Of course, I'm not going to do that now because I don't have time. If you've been doing this for a year and you've got 20 clients, don't offer up your time for free. But if you're brand new and have 0 clients and have a couple hours to spare on Friday afternoon, go for it. Offer up some free consultations. Claim your Google My Business profile. Make it public so that people can find you. And then as soon as you get your Google My Business profile, get reviews. The number one place people go to find a bookkeeper is Google. They'll go to Google and they'll search for a local bookkeeper. And if you have a Google My Business profile, it pops up right away. If you don't believe me, go to Google and type in Harrisburg Bookkeeping. That's my bookkeeping company. I have 200 5-star Google reviews. Go to Google, look up Harrisburg Bookkeeping. I guarantee you I'm going to pop up right there. So claim your Google My Business profile so that people locally can find you. I've said it before. I'll say it 1,000 times. Another tip for another proven way to get bookkeeping clients is post consistently on social media. Share educational, transparent, relatable content to attract clients. Here's the best thing: organically, for free, on your own. You don't need to pay for advertising. You don't need to hire somebody to manage your social media for you. Post consistently on social media. If you need any help with any of this stuff, I've got a 30-day social media marketing strategy guide available for download on my website. It's linked down below. I also have a course for sale, and it goes through everything: bookkeeping fundamentals, QuickBooks Online, sales, marketing, customer service, onboarding clients, cleanup projects. Check out my course if you want. And then I'm also going live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 a.m. on my YouTube channel right here. Same place, same time, almost every single day. So if you have questions, if you're looking for support, if you're looking for accountability, or if you're just looking to learn something about starting your business, join me live every day on YouTube. I also have a podcast. I'm about to go through everything real quick. Just bear with me. I've got a podcast, just letting you know, got a podcast where I post all these. So if you want to listen to this while you're driving or while you're working out, check out the podcast. I have a Facebook group for free. Join my Facebook group, social media, X, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I'm posting content every day. So you can get some ideas, some inspiration by following me on social media. And then finally, I have a exclusive private group that we meet every Monday at 3 p.m. So I don't go live on Monday, but I have a private group meeting in the afternoon on Monday. If you want to join that, there's also a link to sign up for my private group meeting. We have about 30 bookkeepers just like you in that group. And the cool thing is I give answers, but also you can hear stories and answers from other bookkeepers, which is just so incredibly helpful. Okay, let's talk about some more stuff. And then I'm going to get to the questions. So if you're just now joining live, check out all the questions or check out the chat. You can ask questions if you want. And I'm going to try to get to everybody's questions, but if I don't have time, I'm going to prioritize the super chat. So right next to the chat button, you can click the little dollar sign and you can actually pay for a super chat. If you do that, I will answer your question first. So if you really want me to answer your question, go ahead and pay for a super chat. If not, I'm just going to try to go through as many questions as I can. Okay, let me finish my notes, and then I promise I'm going to get to the chat. I'm going to get to the questions. Partner with an accountant or a tax preparer. But the key here is don't partner with somebody who also offers bookkeeping, right? Duh. Don't partner with an accounting firm who offers bookkeeping, but instead partner with a solo entrepreneur, an owner operator, a CPA who just does taxes. This way, you can get possibly some bookkeeping clients from him or her. You can offer to do bookkeeping for them, and you can also offer tax work to your current clients. So it's a win-win because you can be viewed as a one-stop shop. You can refer your clients over to your CPA, and they can help your clients with their taxes and payroll. And hopefully you can get some bookkeeping clients by doing that. But people ask me all the time, how do I get my CPA to refer clients over to me? The best thing to do, it kind of works backwards, but the best thing to do is to refer them a client first. You got to give. You got to give, and then eventually you will receive. But you can't ask first. You have to give. You can't ask, you have to give first. So don't call a bunch of CPAs and say, "Hey, can I do bookkeeping for you?" Instead, call a CPA and say, "Hey, I've got somebody who needs taxes. Can you help them with their taxes?" "Oh my goodness, yes, absolutely. Like, what do you want in return?" "Hey, nothing right now, but if any of your clients need help with their bookkeeping, let me know, and I'd be happy to trade. You can do taxes for my clients. I'll do bookkeeping for your clients." You got to give. The same principle applies to social media. You have to give advice. You have to help people. You have to build trust, build relationships, give, give, give. Don't ask, give, and then people will give in return. Use testimonials and referrals. So Google My Business is great for getting reviews. It's great for building credibility. It's great for local SEO. If people are looking for a bookkeeper, they're going to go to Google. So use referrals and testimonials. If you help somebody, remember I talked about that free consultation? If you help somebody and they say, "Oh, this was amazing. Thank you so much for helping me with my accounts receivable. What do I owe you?" "Hey, don't worry about it. I'm not interested in getting $50 from you. But instead, if you wouldn't mind, here's my Google My Business profile. I would really appreciate leave me a review on Google. And oh, by the way, here's my Facebook page. You can also leave me a review on my Facebook page." So get referrals, get testimonials from people who you help. And here's another interesting, unique way to also get referrals. It doesn't necessarily have to be your bookkeeping clients. You can get referrals from anybody. You can get testimonials from anybody. I'm not encouraging you to try to get your friends and family to lie. But if somebody you know wants to leave you a character review, "Hey, Zach Pasquarello has high integrity. He's trustworthy. And I think he is doing a great job," or "he is doing a great job," or I would recommend him to anybody who needs a bookkeeper. Though that's all potentially true. It does not need to come from one of your bookkeeping clients. That is all true. So you can get referrals and testimonials from family and friends. Just ask for character references, and you can get reviews on your Google My Business profile. They can just speak to your character, speak to your integrity and your trustworthiness. Okay, a couple more things, and then I'll get to the questions. Create a simple website. You need to have a website. You need a website. This proves credibility. So we are offering financial services. This is all about trust, and we need to look legitimate. Nothing against landscapers, but a landscaping company, I know a ton of landscaping companies have websites, but also you might not need, for a junk removal or a landscaper, you might not need to have a website. But for bookkeeping, it's a little bit different. We need to look professional. We need to prove that we're legitimate, prove that we're a legit business. So you need to have a website. It can be simple. It doesn't have to be a big $5,000 optimized for SEO, 10 different pages and a bunch of forms. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. You can just simply go to Squarespace and you can start a website on Squarespace. So it doesn't need to be crazy. You can just use one of their templates. You don't need to pay anybody. If you want to pay somebody, you can, but you can just go to Squarespace and just get a website. It's like $20 per month, super cheap. The templates look amazing. Check out my website, harrisburgbookkeeping.com. It's not a great website, but it's a good starting point. It's a good reference point. You need to have a website. And the website should just simply tell people three things. Who are you? What do you do and how do they contact you? Hey, my name is Zach Pasquarello. Here's a brief paragraph, an introduction of my bio. Here's my phone number. Here's my email address. And I offer bookkeeping services. Here are my 3 packages. Let me know if you need help with your bookkeeping. Two more things, and then I promise I'll get to the questions. Cold outreach with value. Send short messages, send short emails, offering to help people with their bookkeeping, offering to help people with their QuickBooks. Here's the thing, you have to wait. Don't just send messages to people in QuickBooks Online, or don't just send messages to people on Facebook. You need to wait. You need to wait 30 days. And the best thing to do is to send friend requests to people on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, send connection requests, and then wait 30 days so that they can see what you're talking about, so that they can build trust, so that you can build relationships with these people. And then 30 days later, you can send them a message. And it can be so super simple. It can just be, hey, I'm a bookkeeper. Let me know if you ever need help with your QuickBooks. But you want to wait 30 days because you want your marketing content to have a chance to work. So my 4-step process is create content, find clients, connect with them, and engage with your community. So you're creating content. And so you're building trust, you're building relationships. And then you connect with potential clients, and then you engage with their content. So try to comment on their posts, try to reply to comments. That's the best thing that you can do. Engage with your community, build trust, and then send them a message 30 days later. I'm literally doing this right now for Zip Capital. And for my investment fund, I'm sending 30 connection requests every single day on LinkedIn. It's the first thing I do as soon as I wake up, 5 a.m. I send 30 connection requests. And then I look back 30 days ago. Who did I connect with on September 17th? Today is October 17th. So who did I connect with on September 17th? And then I send them all a message. And then tomorrow, I'm going to do the same thing. Who did I connect with who accepted my connection request? September 18th. Send them all a message. Hey, I've got Zip Capital. I'm offering 8 to 12% fixed returns. If you've got $25,000 or more sitting in a savings account, I would love to see if you would like to invest in my investment fund. Everything I do is real estate lending. So all of my loans are secured with a first lien mortgage on real estate. If you want to learn more, I'd love to chat. That's my sales pitch on LinkedIn. That's what I'm doing right now. You can do the same thing on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Connect with people, engage with them, create content, and then send them a message 30 days later. Okay, last question, or not last question, last thing I'm going to talk about. So I just saw somebody did a super chat. I appreciate you. I'm going to answer your question first as soon as I get done talking about this last thing. Join local networking groups and maybe your local chamber of commerce. So I'm not a huge fan of in-person networking events in the beginning. If you don't have time, don't do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you do have time and you're an extrovert and you want to meet with people in person, join local networking events. It's a great way to build trust. Social media is awesome, but in-person events are also great for building trust. The only thing is, if you go to these in-person events, then you have to try. You have to do something. You have to shake hands. You have to meet people. You have to exchange business cards. It's not enough to just go to these events and just sit in the corner and not talk to anybody. Duh, of course. You have to talk to people. You have to shake hands. You have to get to know people, but it's a great way to get your name out there and to build trust. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's get to the questions. Okay. So number 1, peace for all. Appreciate your $5 super chat. If anybody else wants me to prioritize your question, go ahead and do what Peace for All just did. I have found small businesses in my area on Facebook. How do I market to those businesses on Facebook? So you can't really specifically market. So you can obviously do paid per click advertising on Facebook, but nothing that I recommend is paid advertising. So how to market to those businesses on Facebook. So you can actually you can add favorites. So if there's a particular group of people who you really want to advertise to, then you can add them to your favorites on Facebook. But another thing is I'm not connecting with business pages. I'm connecting with business owners. So I'm finding the people who are business owners, not their business pages. So I'm not marketing, I'm not engaging with the business page. I'm literally finding the business owner. And so you can do that in groups. Find groups that are local to your geographical region. Look for the people in those groups, and then you can find business owners in those groups. And I have a whole video about it. I talk about it all the time. If you need more help on how to specifically do that, let me know and maybe I could try to help you. But add these people to your favorites. If you have, so you said you found a small business, you found small businesses in your area, how to market to those businesses on Facebook. Once you find the business owners, you can add them to your favorites on Facebook. And then if they're your favorites, their posts will show up first in your news feed so that you can just scroll through your news feed, see all your favorites. And then I recommend engage with them, comment on their posts, keep it polite, positive, professional. If you follow a landscaping company and they just post a picture of a beautiful new patio that they just installed, hey, landscaping company, this looks amazing. I love the work. Keep it up. Super simple. Do that every day. Do that every other day. Just continue to engage with them. And then you create content. You create content, and then eventually they will see your content. They'll see your engagement. And then 30 days later, then you can send them a message. It's really pretty straightforward, but keep in mind, this is not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to get 50 clients tomorrow. You are going to get 1, maybe 2 clients per month, but you got to do it for 6 months. So let me just tell everybody, like, you're not going to wake up tomorrow with 10 clients if you implement my strategy. But if you keep doing it for 6 months, for 12 months, I promise you, you'll average about 1 to 2 clients, maybe, if you do it right, if you stay consistent, if you do a good job, you'll get 1 to 2 clients per month. And then before you know it, you'll have 10, 15 clients. Okay, but hopefully that answered your question. If peace for all, if you have more questions, let me know and I will do my best to answer that. But okay, so now if anybody else does a super chat, I will prioritize your question. But for now, I'm just going to go to the top of the list and just start with Josh. Good morning from Pittsburgh. How are you liking the stand-up desk? That's a great question, Josh. I love it. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but I hurt my neck. I hurt my back 2 weeks ago, squatting 500 pounds and just working out a lot and sitting at a desk for 10 hours. So I just got a stand-up desk. And so far it's working really, really well. For cleanup projects with a larger price tag, do you require the entire invoice to be paid upfront? Yes, I require the entire invoice to be paid upfront. But yeah, I have more experience. I have more credibility. I have more trust on the internet. So if you're just brand new, you might not be able to get away with that. But at the very least, do half up front and then half when the project is complete. But if you can't, so here's the thing. Every sales call, every quote, every estimate is a negotiation. So at the very least, tell them, hey, I can do this for you, but like, here's the invoice. You're going to need to pay the invoice 100% upfront before I can get started. And if they pay it, amazing. But everything is a negotiation. So at the very least, do that for everybody in the beginning and then see what they say. Worst case scenario, they say, hey, that's a lot of money up front. I don't know you. We've never worked together. It seems like you're kind of new. Is there any way that I can pay half up front and half when you're done? Sure. Absolutely. Why not? But just try to do what's most favorable for you first and then negotiate. It's all a negotiation. Same thing with quoting. Quote them $500 a month. And then if they say, no, that's too much, say, okay, how much would be enough? What's your budget? How much were you hoping to spend? And then see what they say. You never know. It's all just a negotiation. Let's see. Hello, Zach. Have you noticed it's easier to get e-commerce clients? Amazon, Etsy, Shopify. Is it a niche that you'd recommend? I feel like Amazon is kind of complex, but much requested. So yes, e-commerce is very complex. I don't do any bookkeeping for e-commerce companies, but I also don't advertise that I do bookkeeping for e-commerce companies. Here's the thing. You could get a niche for anything. And I do think that it would help, but I recommend get 5 to 10 clients first and then pick a niche. Because imagine if you picked e-commerce as your niche in the beginning and then you missed out on, I don't know, barbershops and hair salons. And maybe you would love doing bookkeeping for barbershops and hair salons, but you would never know. Or maybe there's a ton of barbershops in your hometown and you would never know because you picked e-commerce as your niche. So I think it's fine to pick a niche, but I just recommend get 10 clients first unless you have industry experience. If you already ran an e-commerce business, or if you currently have a barbershop or a hair salon, then yeah, that probably makes sense for you to have that niche. But if you don't have any prior business experience, if you don't really know what niche you want to work with, just get 5 to 10 clients first, and then you can pick a niche. But I absolutely think it can help you become a more efficient bookkeeper. So it's not just about getting clients, it's not just about marketing, but it's also it's probably more so about customer service. You can provide really high quality customer service if you have a niche. For me, I specialize in real estate investors. So I have 70 clients. I probably have 20 real estate investors, maybe 30 real estate investors. So maybe like 30 to 40% of my portfolio is real estate investors, but I can provide really high customer service for those real estate investors because I know what they need. I know their business better than they know their business. They're not teaching me things about their business. I'm teaching them things about their business. So having a niche absolutely enables you to be more of an expert, enables you to be more efficient, work faster, do more, handle more work, get more clients, make more money. That's kind of the whole point. Iris. Client was sole prop and now LLC. She used her personal checking account for purchases that QuickBooks has categorized as owner's distributions or contributions. How do I categorize bank feeds paid with personal account that were biz to show as contributions to business expense? How to journal after adding transactions? Okay, so if you have your personal account connected to the QuickBooks bank feed and you're categorizing those transactions, some of them are business, some of them are personal. What you want to do is you want to do a journal entry just very simply at the end to get rid of the personal account, because hopefully tell your client to stop doing this. Stop using your personal account. But if they are using their personal account, that's fine. You can connect it to the bank feed. You can record the transactions just like you normally would. If it's a business expense, put it towards business. If it's personal, put it towards owner's equity. And then when they're all done with using their personal account, just cancel it out off the books. So let's say there's a $5,000 ending balance in the personal bank account. Then you would just do a $5,000 journal entry to credit the bank account and debit owner's equity, to just wipe it off the books, to get rid of it off the balance sheet. And then the number one thing to do is to teach your client, encourage your client to stop doing this, right? We want to tell our clients to stop using their personal account or stop using their business account for personal transactions. Christian Almonte, how do you determine your processing and underwriting fees for your real estate investor borrowers? When do you collect your fees from the borrower? So Christian, this is obviously a Zip Capital question, so I'd be happy to answer it, but this is not a bookkeeping question. This would be a Zip Capital private money lending question. So I charge a $1,500 underwriting fee and a $995 processing fee. I collect that upfront at closing. It's standard across the board for everybody. What criteria do you use to determine whether an individual can invest in your debt fund? So you just have to be an accredited investor and a U.S. citizen. So anybody can invest in Zip Capital. The $25,000 minimum, accredited investor, and U.S. citizen. If you want to learn more, you can register. There's a link in the description of this video. You can register on my website. Good morning. Just announced the opening of my bookkeeping business and have my first potential client call today. Do you recommend phone or video? I prefer phone call. I'm not a fan of video chat. I feel like it's kind of awkward. I would much rather just do a phone call. Also, any tips or tricks for the first call? Okay, Marissa Gilbert, here's what you do. Ask questions. That's all you have to do. Hey, Marissa, how's it going? Good, great. Is now still a good time to talk? Sure, okay. Why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about your business? The first 10 seconds are always pretty awkward when you talk to somebody for the first time. So just jump right into it. Hey, Marissa, how are you doing? Good, great. Is now still a good time to talk? Yes. Okay, awesome. Why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about your business? Tell me what you have going on. And then actively listen. Let them talk for 5 minutes. People love talking about their business. Let them talk for 5 minutes, and then you can answer, and then you can ask them some questions. So here's a couple good questions to ask. How many bank accounts do you have? How many employees do you have? How many credit cards do you have? Do you have any loans? Are you currently using QuickBooks Online? When do you want me to start? What's your budget? Ask some questions. Write their answers down. Actively listen to what they're saying. Ask a bunch of questions. How many bank accounts do you have? Okay, you have 3. Who do you bank with? Okay, Wells Fargo, Chase, and PNC. Okay, what about credit cards? Oh, you've got no credit cards. Okay. You want to write that kind of stuff down. You have 10 employees. How are you processing payroll right now? Do Do you have a tax preparer who's doing your taxes? I don't do taxes. I don't do payroll, but I partner with a CPA. He can help you with your taxes and payroll, or you can just continue using, going to need all of your bank statements and credit card statements and loan statements every month. My process is pretty straightforward. I just do three things. I categorize your transactions, reconcile your accounts, and generate your financial reports. So honestly, hopefully you wrote down all of those things, but that's really how it goes. Let them talk and then ask those questions. And then, okay, next steps. Always end the conversation with next steps. Okay, so next steps, I'm going to need one of two things. I'm either going to need to be invited to your QuickBooks, or I'm going to need to see your three most recent bank statements and credit card statements. Are you sitting in front of a computer? Great. Do you just want to invite me to your QuickBooks right now? Okay, perfect. All you have to do is click the gear icon in the top right-hand corner, click Manage Users, click Accounting Firms. Here's my email. Invite me to your QuickBooks. And then get the invitation. Okay, you're not sitting in front of a computer right now. Okay, that's fine. Let me get your email address. Okay, got your email address, @gmail.com. Okay, I'm going to send you an email right now with instructions on how to invite me to your QuickBooks. Or I'm going to send you an email right now and request your three most recent bank statements and credit card statements, .. Hey, I just sent that. Would you mind checking your inbox real quick? I just want to make sure I spelled your email address right. Oh, you got it? Okay, great. And then here's the key. Here's the last thing you have to do. Add them to your tracker. Add them to your tracker. If you don't hear from them in 48 hours, call them back. Hey, Marissa, just calling back. I know we had our sales consultation a couple days ago. Did you have any questions? If they don't, and then do whatever the questions they have. And then a week later, if you don't hear from them again, call them a week later. If they don't answer both times, add them to your tracker, follow up with them every 30 days. This has happened to me in the past. Follow up with them every 30 days, because I have literally had somebody who I follow up with every 30 days, and they have eventually hired me 6 months later. Okay, Iris, I just saw that you did a super chat. Thanks for answering my question. Awesome as usual. Iris, you did not have to do that, but I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for the $1.99 super chat. Okay, let's get back to the questions. Let's see, where are we? Brett Klein. Good morning, Zach. When dealing with customers who use payroll and the time clock in QuickBooks, do you map the wages expense to a cost of goods sold if they are using employees for projects? No, I usually just map. So here's the thing. When it comes to clients, everybody's different. Everybody's going to have their own particular way of doing things. When it comes to payroll, I just put everything in either payroll wages or payroll taxes, unless the client specifically wants me to do something else. I'm not in the business of overcomplicating things. So if a client is doing something a certain way, I'm not going to recommend that they change it up. If the client is happy with the way they're doing their books, I'm going to keep doing it the way they want to do their books. If the CPA or the client tells me to do something differently, of course, I'll do whatever you want. I'm just your bookkeeper. I'm not your CPA. I'm not your business partner. I'm not your controller. I'm not an in-house employee. I'm just an outsourced bookkeeper. I am here to just do whatever you want me to do. I'm here to categorize your transactions, reconcile your accounts, and generate your financial reports. So if they want me to map their wages to a particular chart of account, I'll do that. But I'm not going to go out of my way to encourage them to map their payroll wages to any other chart of accounts unless they specifically want me to. Hopefully that makes sense. And I guess if anybody else does things differently, let me know. I'd love to hear some feedback in the chat. The only time I will make recommendations to somebody else is if I see they're blatantly violating IRS rules and regulations. If they're blatantly doing things wrong, yes, of course, I'm going to bring something up. But if it's just like a preference, a personal preference, chart of account adjustment, I'm not going to necessarily say anything. Unless it's a real estate investor. I do have a very specific chart of accounts that I implement for my real estate investor clients, and I do make recommendations for that. But everything else, I try to just do what the client wants me to do. Quant Jason, any success with mass cold emails? I've scraped a ton of dental and lawyer emails. Mass cold email? No. I think cold outreach is very ineffective. I don't know about you all. I receive a ton of cold outreach and I just delete it right away. What I do think is really effective is, see, people want to do the cold outreach because it's fast. It's easy, it's fast, it doesn't take a lot of time, and you can just boom, 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 scrape the emails, buy a leads list, and just send out a ton of emails. It's fast, but I think it's ineffective. What's really effective, but takes a long time, is organic social media marketing. Build real relationships, build real trust, and then send a message to people afterwards. I think that is infinitely more effective than cold outreach. That's just my opinion, because bookkeeping services are all about trust. And realistically, you only need to get 40 clients, and you're going to get 1 or 2 clients per month. So realistically, after 2 or 3 years of consistently social media marketing, you're going to get 30 or 40 clients. So just do it right in the beginning. Just create social media content, create an online presence, build trust, build relationships. It will happen. It's going to take time, but it will happen. How do you handle clients who don't provide monthly bank and credit card statements? There's no choice. Clients have to do that. Clients have to send me their bank and credit card statements. There's no other way. I cannot do my job without bank and credit card statements, especially when it comes to reconciling accounts or deciding whether. So if a client refuses, so I have a couple clients who have not given me their statements for 3 or 4 months. I'm still doing their bookkeeping because eventually they will give me their statements. It's super frustrating. So if you're really busy, those are some of the first clients who I fire. I fire clients. I don't know if you know this, but you can fire clients. You don't have to work with everybody. If people are refusing to send you their statements, then I think you would have 3 options. You can continue to work with them and just hope that eventually they'll send you their statements. So I send recurring emails to all my clients on the first day of every month. And I say, hey, please send me your most recent bank statements and credit card statements every single month. I do have a couple clients who have not gotten back to me in 3 or 4 months. So bank statements and credit card statements are one thing. I will keep a client around as long as they're answering my questions. Here's the thing. If you don't answer my questions, that's the fastest way to get fired. So I do have a couple other clients who have not answered my questions in 2 or 3 months. And so I don't know if this is a good idea, but here's what I just did. I just set up a recurring email to go out weekly to these 2 specific clients. And I said, hey, I've asked you a few questions over the past several months. I haven't heard back from you. Do you still want me to do your bookkeeping? And I set that up as a recurring email to go out every Monday morning. I'm going to let it run for a month, maybe 2 months. If they don't respond back to me, I'm probably going to fire them. But I wanted to do that just so there's a paper trail, just so there's a record of me at least trying, of me reaching out and me at least trying to get them to respond to me. So that was probably way too long of an answer, but hopefully that was helpful. Yeah, so just to reiterate a little bit, right? Customer service, communicating with clients is the hardest part. Seriously, it's one of the hardest parts about doing our job because we don't have all the answers. We're not mind readers. We can't do our job if our clients don't answer our questions. Really, really frustrating, but I guess that's just the nature of the industry. And there's last thing I'm going to say about this. We can't care more about our clients' books than our clients care about their books. You just can't. You're going to stress yourself out. You're going to feel so frustrated. So what you have to do is you have to reserve your energy for your clients who do care, because I promise you there are really great clients out there. There are people who do care a ton about their books, and there are people who are very particular. If you have somebody like that, go all in. I love that 100%. If you care about your books, if you ask questions, if you want to meet, I'm here for it. I love that. And then there's other people who just don't care. And so there's only so much that you can do. Okay, let's see. DFOS. Hey, Zach, Hormozy talks about offering free stuff. Do you recommend offering a free month of bookkeeping or something similar when starting out? I don't. I'm not a fan of it. I know he just talked about, I just listened to his podcast a couple of days ago, and he recommended get 10 free clients first. Get your first 10 clients offered to do do your service for free or sell your product for free, and then use those 10 to get your next 10. And it'll be easier to get your first 20 clients if your first 10 are free than it would be to get your first 10 if they all paid. I'm not a fan of that. Bookkeeping, I don't know. Maybe it's just different. I don't know what it is, but I feel like people don't want to hire a free bookkeeper. That just to me sounds scary because finances are so serious, intimate, secure. Like I don't want to hire some random guy for free to try to do my bookkeeping pro bono. Like that just to me does not sound like a good idea. I want to hire somebody who's an expert, who's legit, who knows what they're doing. I'd rather pay a premium for a good bookkeeper than hire somebody with no experience for free. So I don't love the idea of offering our services for free. What I do love the idea. So, okay, here's two scenarios. One scenario, you do bookkeeping for 2 months for free for 5 different clients. Yeah, you might learn some stuff. Yeah, you might get some referrals, but you're going to make $0. What I would prefer to do is instead of doing that, I would prefer to just spend 2 months and just create a ton of marketing content, do a ton of research, learn about bookkeeping and accounting and QuickBooks, create 2 months of hardcore, just spend 4 or 5 hours every day marketing and selling. And then I don't guarantee, because I can't guarantee that you're going to get clients, but are you kidding me? 2 months of hardcore 5-6 hours a day of marketing and sales, there's a really good chance that you're going to get a couple clients versus 2 months of doing work for free and you still have 0 clients after those 2 months. So I'm a much bigger fan of just put all your energy into marketing and sales for those first 60 days and just work your butt off to get the first couple clients. I know there's a couple people in this chat right now. I think his name's Birdsong. I know he has been marketing on social media and he is doing really, really well. So I know there's a couple people watching live right now who have been watching my videos who have had a ton of success just by marketing on social media. So I don't think you need to offer your services for free. If anything, what you can do is you can offer your services at a discount. I would at least recommend $25 an hour. You can work as an outsourced bookkeeper, independent contractor for $25 an hour. And I can't guarantee, but there's very high likelihood that you will find somebody who's willing to hire you at $25 an hour. I did it. I'll be honest. I did it 5 years ago. I took on a job for $25 an hour and I was so happy to get it. So it's possible. I don't think you should work for free. Patry, hi, this is my first time catching the live because I usually listen to you during my workout or car on Spotify. I wanted to say that I learned so much and continue to grow listening to you. Thank you, Patry. Really appreciate it. I post these videos on my podcast on Apple and Spotify. So if you're listening on the podcast, consider joining us live every 10 a.m. on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube and you want to listen to it in the car or while you're working out, check us out on Apple and Spotify. MN, new bookkeeper. Is bookkeeping for a cannabis dispensary too difficult for a first client? So I'll just be totally honest. I have never done bookkeeping for a cannabis dispensary. So unfortunately, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't know anything about a cannabis dispensary. But you have nothing to lose. Give it a try. Give it a try. I feel like people are way too afraid of messing up. So here's the thing. As long as you are intentionally trying to do your best, as long as you have integrity, as long as you're being honest, there are literally people out there who are trying to scam people. There are people out there who are trying to steal from people. Those are the kind of people who are in the news, who get arrested, who commit fraud, who have to move to a different state because have to file bankruptcy. Those are the kind of people who ruin it for everybody else. As long as you're genuinely trying to be honest and have integrity and genuinely trying to do your best, you're going to be fine. You're going to make mistakes, but you just have to learn from your mistakes. So it looks like you might be a little bit hesitant to try doing bookkeeping for a cannabis dispensary. Give it a try. Let me encourage you. Let me give you some motivation and some inspiration. Just give it a try. As long as you try to do your best and learn from your mistakes, you're going to be fine. Bob Rivera, hi, Zach. Should I have a website before I start advertising? No, but you should get a website. Get a website today. Get a website this weekend. Don't watch football this weekend. Don't go bowling with your friends. Skip trivia night one night. Wake up early. Stay up late. Work during your lunch break. Whatever you have to do, get a website. It'll take you 2 hours. Get a website and also start advertising on social media simultaneously. Today, as soon as you're done watching this, create your first Facebook post. Let me encourage you this weekend, as soon as you get off work, get your website up and running, get a domain, go to Squarespace, get a website. Super, super simple. You just got to start, because the biggest thing that's preventing you from getting a client is time. Time is the biggest thing preventing you from getting a client. And you have to wait 30 to 60 days because you got to create content. All right, let's see. A lot of questions. We got to keep moving. Keep moving. Johnny, my client mentioned that their previous bookkeeper never figured out the opening balance equity when they first set up QuickBooks back in 2019. At that time, their bank and credit card accounts already had business. They didn't start from zero. I'm trying to understand how to correctly establish the opening balance equity now so the books are accurate going forward. So one of the first things that I would probably do, this seems like a pretty complicated situation. I would probably ask them, what did their tax accountant do? If they're an S Corp or a partnership, they have to file their balance sheet on their taxes. So figure out if their balance sheet is on their tax return. If they're a sole proprietor, single member LLC, not taxed as an LLC, then maybe their balance sheet did not get reported in their taxes. But if they do have their balance sheet on their taxes, figure out what is their opening balance equity on their tax return. If they don't have that on their taxes, then it's really pretty simple. So you just want to look at their bank account, their bank and credit card. So look at their statements. Look at their statements. Figure out when they filed their taxes. So if they've already filed their taxes for 2023, 2024, then it's already done with. Like, unless they plan on amending their tax returns, then it doesn't really matter. So figure out when you're starting their bookkeeping. If they want you to start back in 2019, that's fine. Take their December 2018 bank statement. Or if they want you to start in 2024, take their December 2023 banks. Take the oldest bank statement. Look at the ending balance. Look at the bank account. Go to the reconcile screen. Reconcile the account. Include all the transactions from the past, because we don't care about the past. The past is already done. And what I mean by already done is they've already filed their taxes. Unless they want you to do a cleanup project because they want to amend their taxes, that's different. But if they already filed their taxes, if they're a single member LLC that doesn't report their balance sheet and their taxes, then just look at the most recent year from when their taxes are complete. Look at the bank statement. Go to the reconcile screen, add up all the bank transactions, do a single journal entry to plus or minus the bank statement to reconcile the account, put it towards opening balance equity, put it towards owner's equity. It doesn't matter. Those years are done. There's nothing you can do. They're not going to amend their taxes. They've already filed their taxes. There's really nothing more for you to do. So just, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that's a good enough explanation. Johnny, let me know if you're still confused. Also, does messing with the opening balance equity from 2019 mess up taxes if it's changed 6 years later? It all depends. If they have their balance sheet recorded with their taxes, then yes. But if they don't, then no, it doesn't matter. So you got to figure out what type of entity they are. S Corp, partnership, check their tax return. Not an S Corp, not a partnership, doesn't matter. Amanda Guy, how do you price services for a client who wants to integrate Square into QBO and have you categorize every transaction in addition to all their bank and credit card accounts? Amanda, first, I would strongly encourage the client to not integrate Square into QBO. So I have gone so far as to not accept a client. I turned down a client because they wanted to sync JobTread with QBO. And I said, hey, I'll do your bookkeeping, but I'm not going to do your bookkeeping if you're going to require JobTread to be connected to QuickBooks. So if they really want Square to be connected to QuickBooks, maybe encourage them to not do that. And here's the thing, ask them, what's the point of connecting Square to QBO? Why do you want to do this? And then, like, what's the value add? What's the purpose of doing this? And my big talking point is your bookkeeping needs to be sacred and accurate, because we're using this to file your taxes. We're literally using these financial reports to determine how much cash is going to come out of your bank account at the end of the year for you to pay taxes. So if you're just doing this to track accounts receivable, you can track accounts receivable in your Square account. We don't need to track accounts receivable in Square and QuickBooks Online. In my experience, connecting third-party websites and applications to QuickBooks typically causes more confusion, more mess, inaccurate books. So my biggest recommendation is to keep QuickBooks separate. Just go off of cash transactions, credit card transactions. We can do journal entries at the end of the month, end of the quarter, end of the year to account for accounts receivable, unearned revenue, prepaid expenses, any adjustments, any accruals. We can do journal entries in QuickBooks, but I don't recommend connecting Square. So that's my number one recommendation. Number two recommendation, to answer your question, in addition to, so if they really want you to integrate Square, then just count all the Square transactions in addition to all their bank account and credit card transactions. So I tell you to add up the 3 most recent bank statements and credit card statements. Now add up all the transactions. Add up all the transactions and then multiply that by 3, and that'll be their bookkeeping quote. Hopefully that was helpful. Let's see. Yes. See, look, other people agree with me. Janine Morrill, Amanda Guy, it's best not to integrate Square. See, how much does it cost to maintain your website? Erica, $20 a month, pretty cheap. $20 a month, maybe 30, maybe a little bit more, but yeah, 15, 20, $30 a month. Erica, do you have a script to talk to CPAs? No, I think it's pretty simple. I really think it's pretty straightforward. Hey, I'm a bookkeeper. Do any of your tax clients need help with their bookkeeping, or do you need help with tax prep at the end of the year? I don't really have a script, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Erica. But Erica, if you have specific questions, let me know. Patchery, I have an LLC open that I used for my freight dispatching company, but so the name has logistics in it. I want to do bookkeeping for trucking companies to start. So I don't know. Should I change my LLC name? Patchery, here's my recommendation. Keep things simple. Do things right in the beginning. How much does it cost to start an LLC? Maybe $100, maybe $500. I recommend do it right in the beginning. It'll save you headache down the road. So just start a separate company. That's my recommendation. Start a separate company, start fresh, new bank account, new set of books, start fresh. That's what I would do. Brett Klein, for maybe a future video, could you show an example of your Excel or Google sheet that has your weekly workflow for each client? Curious what checklist you have on a daily basis. Yes, Brett. Also, my workflow spreadsheet is so super simple. It's available for download on my website. It's so simple though. You don't even need to download it. It's literally just my clients. And then I'm going to pull it up right now and I'm just going to walk you through what it looks like. It's so super simple. You don't even need to download it from my website. You can just create it. You can literally just pause the video and rewind and just watch this part back. It's so super simple. Let me pull up my workflow right now. It's loading. Hopefully it pulls up in a couple seconds. Okay, so column A, my client, the name of my client. Column B, the industry that they're in, just for personal preference. You don't even need to have column B, but column A, client, column B, what industry are they in? Column C, email address. Column D, the day of the week that I work on that client. So whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. That way, on Friday, I filter 5 for day, and then I only work on clients who I service on day 5. And then column E is it's called weekly, but column E is basically when did you work on that client this week? So all the clients I worked on today, I just put October 17th, 2025 in column E for weekly. And then next week, I'll erase that column and then I'll put in next week's date for when I worked on them. And then the next column is class tracking. Yes or no. Do I do class tracking for this client? Yes or no. And if it's a yes, then I know I need to make sure that I follow up with the client for any transactions missing a class. Next column, 1099s, question mark. Yes or no. Do I process their 1099s? Next column, bank access. Yes or no. Do I have bank access for this client? Next column, taxes. Yes or no. Does my CPA do their taxes? And then the final 3 columns are transactions categorized, question mark. So for month-end close, Have I categorized all of their transactions? Yes or no. Next column, accounts reconciled, question mark. Have I reconciled all of their accounts? Question mark. And then final column, P&L sent, profit and loss sent, question mark, yes or no. So I know I'm done with a client when I have a yes for all three of those questions. Or if I send a client a list of questions, then for the transactions categorized column, instead of saying yes, I'll say questions. Or accounts reconciled, instead of saying yes, if I still need their bank statements, I'll just simply say need bank statements. And so I won't say yes until I've categorized their transactions, until I've reconciled their accounts, and until I've sent their P&L. So that is my workflow. Seriously, you don't need to spend any money on the workflow. Okay, a couple more questions. So if anybody else really wants me to answer their question in these last 5 minutes, consider paying for a super chat, and I will prioritize your question. But if I don't get any more super chats, I will just continue going in chronological order. Let's see, where are we? Patrick, can you help me with pain point for trucking companies? Like, what would they need for bookkeeping? Should I focus on drivers instead of brokers or dispatchers? I would focus on drivers. The biggest pain point for trucking companies is their fuel card and their weekly statement. Because if they are working for a broker or working for another company, chances are they're getting a statement from their company. So they're receiving like a payout per week, but there needs to be a journal entry. So they're receiving $1,000 per week, but in reality, they actually made $1,200 of revenue. So you need to account for that missing revenue. So you need to do a journal entry based on their statement every single week from whoever they're working for. So their fuel card and their weekly statement, I forget what it's called, but like their weekly statement from their dispatcher or their broker or the company they work for, you need to know how to do that journal entry. So you're going to credit revenue, you're going to debit expenses, and you're going to debit bank account for whatever's left over. So those are probably the two biggest pain points: fuel card and the statement from their company they're working for. Let's see. Bob Rivera, should I have a business logo, and do you include a photo of yourself on marketing materials like business cards, flyers? Yes, yes, absolutely. I think you should do both. I think you should have a logo. I think you should include a picture of yourself. I try to put a picture of myself everywhere as much as I can for recognition. I want people to recognize me. I want people to see me and recognize me so that we build trust, so that they get to know me. And yeah, having a logo is important. Honestly, just between you and me, I used Canva to create my logo for free. So don't tell anybody, but I did not pay a bunch of money for a big fancy logo. I don't think it's that important. I don't think you need to pay anybody. If you want to, spend $200 for a professional logo, but honestly, you can probably just use Canva and make a really great logo all by yourself. A couple more questions here. Brian Birdsong. Yes, Brian, you're the person. You're the person who is crushing it right now on social media. I've landed 3 clients in 30 days. Everybody, give Brian a round of applause. If Brian can do it, I know for a fact, Brian, me, we are just as smart as you. Maybe Brian's working a little bit harder than you. Maybe he's more consistent, but we all have access to Facebook. We all have a computer. We all have a cell phone. We all are very intelligent people. We can all do what Brian is doing. So congratulations, Brian. I'm proud of you. Keep it up. The 30-day social posting campaign definitely helped. 2 clients came from Facebook, 1 from networking. Face-to-face meetings have been great. Getting my name out there and engaging with other small business owners. My second networking meeting landed me my 3rd client, and now I'm starting to receive LinkedIn connections and Facebook requests with CPAs. Congratulations, Brian. I'm proud of you. Good job. Keep it up. I'm very excited about my journey so far, and we'll keep at it. Stay consistent, reaching out, and just talking to folks. Thank you, Zach, for your mentorship. Brian, I hope you keep showing up to these videos. Brian, consider joining my weekly meetings, my private live weekly meetings every Monday at 3 p.m. Brian, I would love to have you join our weekly meetings on Monday. I think it would be great. I lost more inches working out. When I see your workout post, I get motivated too. Keep up the good work. Erica, appreciate you. I love working out. I think it's so important. MN, new bookkeeper. Is bookkeeping for a cannabis dispensary too difficult for a first client? I think I already answered that question. Let's see. We've got time for one more question. One more question. Brad Burnett. I've been using the social media strategy on LinkedIn. I've sent 650 DMs so far and no clients. I have booked 3 sales calls, but no sales. Should I continue to double down on LinkedIn or start using Facebook too? Brad, let me give you some inspiration. I sent 4,000 DMs on LinkedIn and I booked probably 20 meetings and probably 3 or 4 in-person meetings. And I don't know if any of them ended up turning into a client, an investor in Zip Capital or not, but Brad, you just can't give up. Numbers, numbers, numbers. You just got to keep putting out content and you just got to keep doubling down on, just really just keep creating content, keep sending messages. That's really all you can do. So, Brad, don't give up. Don't give up. You need to keep doing more. You need to keep being consistent, keep creating content. And you're gonna do fine. You're gonna be successful. You just can't give up. You just got to keep going. Okay, that's it. Hopefully this was good. Hopefully this was helpful. I'm going to be going live on Tuesday at 10 a.m. So join me on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Consider joining my meeting on Monday at 3 p.m. Thank you all so much. I'm going to keep making these videos. If you all keep showing up, I really appreciate you. So thank you so much. And I will see you all next week. And check out Zip Capital. If you want to invest in Zip Capital, you can click the link down in the description. You can register on my website, and I would love to chat with you about possibly investing in Zip Capital. So thank you all so much.